Hi, and welcome to another episode of Rob's Triathlon Tips for Beginners. This is a video about one way you may want to make lists for an upcoming race. Sort of a fancier way of making a list instead of just writing things down on paper or in a spreadsheet. So, something I've used to keep sort of personal to-dos and work to-do items is called Trello. It's a digital tool, and you can have a free account with some limitations, but it pretty much does everything I need with the free account. This is not a sponsored video. This is just what I've used. A quick Google search, and you can find lists like, the best 10 alternatives to Trello. There's things like Asana, Reich, maybe Monday.com. There's lots of different things you can try out if you try Trello and you don't like it. So I'll just show you how I'm gonna set up a new personal board to start planning for Ironman California, which I'm registered for on October 24th. So once I've logged into Trello here, there's a little button called Create New Board, and so I'm gonna make a list for myself called Ironman California and create the board. You can see here it's got a sort of generic background. Up at the top right, I'm going to click on this show menu and click change background. Click photos, and I'll just type in triathlon. And let's see what pops up here. Just sort of scroll down till you see something that, hey, there's a transition area. Maybe I'll try that background. It's loading. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. If you don't like it, you can always change it later. And the default for Trello is this view where it's almost like vertical stacks of sticky notes. And so the way I use it is I make a category, so you start a list. So you start brainstorming lists that you want. So you're going to have your T1 bag, your first transition bag for a full Ironman. You get a whole bunch of bags. You're going to have your T2 bag. You're going to have your personal needs bag number 1, personal needs bag 2. You're going to have a morning bag. So those are the 5 bags. And you might think, oh, I've got these lists in a wrong order. You can see it. You can scroll left and right. And you can just like click, hold, and drag it. Okay, morning bag over here. It's super easy functionality. I also want to have a list of pre-trip to do. I also want to think about food to buy in Sacramento, gear to buy in Sacramento. And that's probably a pretty good start. I may think of other things that I want to do, and I'll just make another list. So those are the lists started. Now you would start to brainstorm way ahead of your race, what you think you might need in these lists. So let's say, for example, food to buy in Sacramento. What are you going to want to eat in the days leading up? If you've got a hotel room with a miniature fridge and to save time the morning of the race, you prefer to make your own breakfast as opposed to heading out and buying something or chancing some food making you sick. So I know I'm going to want some almond milk, for example, so I just add what's called a new card, almond milk, and then you just hit enter, and that's it, really. It's that simple. You can start getting fancy with Trello, you can create labels to color code things. Like let's make green. Uh, let's make a label called food or something. That didn't work. Yeah, there we go. Click that little pen and I food and make food green, and then pick that one. And you can see, like, you can get as fancy as you want, or you could all just leave it all white and black and white. So I could come in here and I can remove this label and just leave almond milk. I'm gonna want some bananas, some oatmeal. So you can see how it's just very quickly, just brainstorming, you start to build a list for a topic. Gear I need to buy in Sacramento. I know I'm going to want to buy 4 CO2 cartridges because I'm flying into Sacramento. I can't bring the CO2 cartridges with me. I'm going to want 2 on my bike, and I'm going to want 2 in the second personal needs bag in case I get a flat in the first half of the race and need CO2 for another flat in the second half. So just to be paranoid, I'm going to buy 4 CO2 cartridges for the race. Then you start thinking transition 1 is the bag you're going to grab when you get out of the water to start cycling. So in that bag, you're going to have things like your helmet, your bike shoes, your bike socks. You're going to need sunscreen, your cycling jersey, your sunglasses. And you just start visualizing yourself. Okay, I get out of the water. Now what am I doing? You sort of start from the top and work your way down, or vice versa, physically. Yeah. And you can start by building a list, or you could search on YouTube for videos of people who tell you what you might need to pack, or you can find sample lists and then build that into Trello or whatever system you're going to use. And what's neat about Trello is, and other systems would be the same, you can like grab a card as opposed to just a list, and you can drag that. Oh, I put that in the wrong spot. Or you can click this little pen icon here and you can copy this. And so it's made a duplicate, and then you can drag that. And then you can go and say, I don't know, I'm going to rename this Run Socks. So you just start building your list. Like you think of the morning of the swim. I'm going to need some sandals. I'm going to need my wetsuit. Swim cap, goggles, spare goggles. That's a nightmare that people have, is that they're ready to get in the water and their elastic snaps. So a lot of people have spare goggles. Then you go, okay, fine, I'll use this pair. And you don't let it break you mentally. And I'll keep expanding on these lists. And I just thought of a new list that I should make, which is dressing morning of. And I'll just click and drag that over. Well, what am I gonna wear? I'm gonna need a t-shirt and probably a sweater and my cycling shorts. I'm not gonna bike in a tri-suit. I want cycling shorts that have more padding for the 180K bike ride. So I'm gonna want to put those on. Like this is the stuff that I'm going to stay warm in and have underneath my wetsuit. So another example of a list you need to think of to be properly prepared for your race. And so my race is about a month out, so I'll keep chipping away at this, looking for ideas from other people, looking at old lists that I made, and then doing sort of mock transitions and realizing, you know what, I haven't thought of such and such. You may want to have a list of pack on the bike. So in the case of this triathlon and a full Ironman, there are going to be some things that you will just leave with your bike once you check it in. You got to think about what tools, tire levers, Allen key wrenches, spare tire, CO2 cartridges, food to buy in Sacramento, Gatorade, bottle for race day, bike. So on the morning of, I'll bring that Gatorade bottle. It doesn't sit on my bike overnight and get hot. So that's the kind of brainstorming you do. Personal needs bags is something I have never had the luxury of having before. So I'm still trying to brainstorm, what does that mean? Apparently this stuff gets donated or thrown away if you don't claim it at the roughly halfway mark of your bike or your run. So you don't want to put something expensive in there that you want back later that you don't end up using. So like I'm gonna put 2 CO2 cartridges in my personal needs bag number 1. Cartridges. Personal needs bag number 2. I'm not sure. On the marathon, I may want some salt tabs halfway through if I'm getting some cramping. Maybe some Tylenol or some kind of pain medication. Maybe my joints are just killing me by that point. I'll have to keep brainstorming that. Pre-trip to do. What's coming to mind right now is I need to book my bike in for service. And I watched a video of a triathlete who says twice in their racing career they've had a chain break on them, and that's been the end of their race day. And so now every time they do a race, the stuff that's packed on their bike includes 2 spare chain links and a chain link tool, a miniature one. So I'm gonna want to buy those. Last thing I want to do is get 2/3 of the way through the bike and have my chain come off and break, and that's the end of my day. And I've been training for building for 10 years to do an Ironman, and I can't continue. So I'm glad that I found that video with that tip. So I will step to that level of paranoia and get that equipment, definitely, just to ease my mind. So that's Trello, and that's some very quick brainstorming that I've done, and I will continue to chip away at to build packing lists and other lists for the Ironman that I'm going to do. I forgot to mention that you can download the Trello app, and other software will be similar. You can get that app on your phone or your tablet, so whatever you do on your computer, this I'm doing on a laptop, will synchronize through the cloud to your phone and vice versa. So when you get to your race location, You can add items, you can move things, edit them on your phone or your tablet, just like I've done on my computer. So that's a great feature there. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with people who may also benefit from it. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and make sure to hit that little bell icon and select all to receive notifications of any new videos that I upload. Thank you.